this is Kevin, and welcome back to another video. And today I will be discussing my top 10 most anticipated games of 2023, although there are a few honorable mentions, so there's more than 10 games, but for the sake of the algorithm, it's top 10 games. And also, every single one of these games is a JRPG, because really that's the only genre I like to play these days, so you've been forewarned. But without further ado, let's get to our first honorable mention, and that is Trails to Azure, which is releasing on March 14th. This is the sequel to Trails from Zero, which came out last year in 2022, and these were awaiting localization for at least 10 years. They're both PSP games, finally getting localized in the long-running Legend of Heroes Trails series. And the reason it's an honorable mention for me is because I still haven't played Trails from Zero, so I can't play the sequel without playing the first game. But it is a game I want to play at some point, and therefore it's on the list. Which also goes in line with the second honorable mention, Trails into Reverie, which is releasing on July 7th. This is the epilogue to all the previous Trails games, the 3 Trails in the Sky games, the 4 Trails of Cold Steel games, and then the Crossbell duology, Zero and Azure. And all the characters, playable and non-playable, I'm sure villains and whatnot, all converge in Trails into Reverie, and there's a send-off, everyone. And then the next arc starts with Koro no Kaseki. Another game I'd like to play, but, you know, I need to play the Sky games. I still need to play Zero and Azure. So I got a lot of catching up to do, but I would like to play it at some point. And I really do appreciate the long form of storytelling, the, you know, shonen anime nature of it, the waifus, all that good stuff. So it's definitely a game to add to my backlog at some point. And I said already it's coming out July 7th. So our third and final honorable mention, Tales of Symphonia Remastered, which this is right around the corner, releasing on February 17th. And I do have this game pre-ordered, believe it or not. It's been almost 20 years since Tales of Symphonia was on the GameCube. I think it released in Japan in 2003, and then North America in 2004. And I remember playing it on the GameCube way back in the day. It's been, like I said, almost 20 years. I'd love to replay it. That's why I pre-ordered it. But Bandai, can we please get the other Tales of games remastered? Can we get Abyss? Can we get Xillia 1 and 2? Can we get Graces? Can we get the other ones remastered? Don't even need a physical release. Put them on the store, whatever. You know, some people want to play them. I mean, I haven't even played Abyss. I'd love to play Abyss. But I'm looking forward to Symphonia. I'll see our boy Lloyd and Colette again, and all the other familiar faces. So that's it for honorable mentions. Now for number 10, which is a game that already came out, but it's One Piece Odyssey. This game released on January 13th. It's on the list just because, you know, it's 2023. It's a game I'm excited for. One Piece in turn-based RPG form. I mean, who doesn't love that? And if you can tell by the aesthetic there, it's developed by the same people who worked on Dragon Quest XI. And just seeing some of the combat and what the enemies look like, it has that feel to it. It's also published by Bandai Namco. So this is right up my alley. Turn-based RPG, the anime art style. Look at Nami up there. You can see in the background. Robin. I mean, holy crap. There's no censorship there. So definitely excited for One Piece Odyssey. I didn't get it yet, but at some point I'll get it. Maybe wait for a sale or whatever. But, you know, looks great. And it made the cut. So next up we have number 9. And that is Persona 3 and Persona 4 Remastered. And these are both releasing on January 19th. So they might already be out already. I'm recording this in advance. So another game that came out already. A lot of these, you know, coming early, January and February. But they're both releasing on the same day. And on all the consoles, on PS4, PS5, Switch, Xbox, PC. Although I think they're already on PC. And they're on here because I really enjoyed playing through Persona 5 Royal last year. So I look forward to going through these. I've heard 4's story is better, but, you know, 3 has its fans as well. And it's weird because 1 and 2 never get talked about because they're so different from these games. There's none of the social links or interaction with the characters like that, or I guess maybe not story heavy. They're more similar to Shin Megami Tensei type games, which, you know, it's Shin Megami Tensei Persona is really what it should be called. But anyway, now number 8, we did this one for Memetics. And that's Octopath Traveler 2, which is another game releasing relatively soon, February 24th. Now, I played Octopath Traveler 1, and I really did like it. I never beat it, though, because it went on pretty long. And one thing I didn't like about it was how none of the characters interacted with each other. You had the 8 characters and the 8 different stories. They joined the party, but they never really interacted with each other. And to me, that's what makes an RPG, a JRPG, so good. And that's what really tells the story, is the characters interacting. So I'm sort of in a wait-and-see mode with this game. If they rectify that and have the characters interact more, I'm sold. But even still, classic combat, the 2D, 3D type thing, which they're doing a lot now in RPGs and in some indie games. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And that's from Square Enix. So number 7, we have Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, which was on my top 10 anticipated games of 2022. Still looking forward to it. We don't know a release date. Sometime in 2023, supposedly, but it's been delayed so much now. I mentioned this a few times now, but it's because it's got the Tales of look. That's what's selling it on me. And also, Nobuo Uematsu is the composer doing the soundtrack for this game. So that's another reason to get it. I mean, the legend from classic Final Fantasy games himself. So some point in 2023, but we don't know. All right. Now, number 6. There's 3 games on this list that could sell me on getting a PS5, and this is one of them. Number 6, Stellar Blade, formerly known as Project Eve. And this game, I mean, you got waifus out the wazoo, and this shot again, which, hold on, let me get my clip, I gotta play it. There it is. It's the new and improved version of 2B, and I mentioned in my, going through my anticipated games of 2022, that it's from the same developers as the gacha game Nikke Goddess of Victory, where the girls literally hold guns and they recoil as they shoot bullets, and their ass and tits jiggle all over the place. And if you watch the trailer for this, you see all sorts of jiggling action, and, it's an action RPG. It's a Korean-made game, believe it or not, South Korean. So, it's on there. We'll wait and see with this, and if enough of these games sell me on the PS5, I guess I'll have to buy a PS5 at some point. So, there you go. There's the ass shot again. And this game, we don't know. It's releasing in 2023 at some point. Number 5, Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes, which this is another one that has 2023 question mark. There was a Kickstarter, I think 2 years ago, from the creators of Suikoden, doing the spiritual successor. You always hear about spiritual successors of this and that, always of Chrono Trigger and the Mana games or whatever. But this is a legitimate spiritual successor because it's done by the same people who did Suikoden with the same idea. And interestingly enough, Konami recently announced the Suikoden 1 and 2 remaster. Sort of out of spite, I guess, out of this. But yeah, at some point coming out, it's classic turn-based stuff, so I'm sold on it. 2023, and thankfully this is on like PS4 and all that, so I can hold off a little bit longer for PS5, despite Stellar Blade existing. So number 4 is my dark horse on this list that probably none of you were ever expecting, but here we go. Number 4, Loop 8, The Summer of the Gods, which this is another one with 2023 question mark. I saw the trailer for this, and I was immediately hooked. It's sort of like a time travel, visual novel, RPG factor to it, and that sold me. It looked like it had some waifus, so, we'll wait and see with this. I enjoyed the first trailer that I saw. It's a 2023 question mark, so we'll hear more about it. I'm sure see more trailers, but I had to throw on the list just as like the dark horse to shock all of you with this, So that's number 4. Number 3, another PS5 game, Final Fantasy 16, which is releasing on June 22nd. The first mainline rated M Final Fantasy game. I've seen all the trailers so far. The only thing I have a problem with is the combat one. I mean, we're never going to get real turn-based with the mainline Final Fantasies again. It's all going to be action. To me, just looking at the trailers and the level of combat I've seen, Final Fantasy VII Remake's combat is better. This is kind of more similar to Final Fantasy 15. But the music, seeing some of the other characters, Clive, how it appears like he's going to age. He starts out as a young boy, then he grows up to be like 30. You see him, he looks older there. The sort of fusing with what they call the icons, the summons. Jill looks pretty cute as, you know, the Final Fantasy waifu of this game. So, yeah, looking forward to it. But slightly more excited for the next game, number 2, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is winter 2023, also a PS5 exclusive. With this game, I mean, more excited for this than I am 16 because I loved 7 Remake. I loved how all the characters, you know, and I loved Final Fantasy VII, the original game, but all the characters getting voices, how they're all animated, the combat, the changes to the story I didn't mind. I mean, everyone goes on about the ghosts and all that, the pot ghosts, but I thought it was fine, you know, really cool moments, great lines, like, what's the one with Heidegger? He says, "The stench of the director's cowardice fills the room yet again." Like that, I always had that one memorized for the trailer. And Tifa, when you know she's in the cowgirl outfit, and she says like, "Soldiers, Sephiroth, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of all this." Like, I played the game so many fucking times. I watched the trailer. I remember all the quotes. But anyway, I'm hyped for 7 Remake. Of all the games I just mentioned that would make me buy a PS5, this is the one. And it's releasing the latest, so maybe there'll be a bundle for the PS5, or instead of $500, it'll be $400. So, there you go. And my number 1 most anticipated game of 2023. I'll tell you, Ryza 3, which is releasing on February 22nd. So, right around the corner. I have this one pre-ordered. I can't wait to play this. I love Ryza 1 and Ryza 2. So with Ryza 3, all the characters returning, joining the party, Boast joining the party. I can't wait for Ryza 3. I can't wait. And Ryza 3, spoilers, has to end with Ryza and Boast getting married. I'm sorry, that's just the way it has to be. So, you know, that's that. What did you guys think of my list? Let me know in the comments down below. And, you know, we'll chat with you in the comments. I appreciate you guys watching the video, and we'll talk to you later. So, peace out.